GridironTalkZone podcast. I'm your host, Nick, alongside my co-host, Jude. We are excited. I'm excited. NFC North time. Finally get to, I guess you can say my favorite division only because my favorite team plays in it. Otherwise, I don't think it's the most exciting division for everyone else. But anyway, NFC North preview time. Like the other divisions, we're going to go 4-1 with me and Jude's predictions. We're going to talk it out. We're going to have some interesting debates on this one. But yeah, excited to get into it. Do you want to say anything or can we just get right into it?
Let's just get right into it, man.
All right, right into it. So, starting at number 4, you can see I have the Green Bay Packers at number 4. Jude has the Chicago Bears. I'll start off with the Packers. Why are they number 4? A few simple reasons. This is a competitive division. First off, I see the top 3 teams all winning about 8, 9, 10 games, and I see the Packers kind of as that, 5 to 7 win team. I think that it wouldn't shock me if they competed for 8, 9 wins and competed for a wild card spot. But I really think with the state of the franchise, losing Aaron Rodgers, going to Jordan Love, unless Love plays like a top 15 quarterback, I really don't see them winning more than 7 games. Because you look at it still, Christian Watson, he really has to carry the load. And even if Christian Watson is a top 20 receiver this year, which is realistic expectations for how he ended last year, going into it as a second player with athletic upside, the receiving core outside of that is just not it. Jaden Reed out of Michigan State, rookie. You have Romeo Dobbs going into his second year. The 2 and 3 there aren't good. And then you're looking at a rookie tight end in Luke Musgrave. Rookie tight ends usually take a while to develop. So this receiving core, I'm just going to see where I have it ranked real quick. I have this receiving core ranked as the 29th, 31st best. So I have this receiving core second to last, only ahead of the Houston Texans. So yeah, this receiving core just isn't it for Jordan Love. You're looking at a regressing, aging offensive line. Still has a few players I like though. I think it's really going to be an offense carried by the run game, and the system of Matt LaFleur may make things easier on Jordan Love than some other systems, but I just don't think they have enough offensive firepower to compete with the other 3 really kind of juggernaut offenses in this division, in my opinion. I think the other 3 offenses all have a strong case to be top 10. Probably won't all be top 10 just because there's a lot of other offenses and it's hard to have 3 from one division that good. But yeah, I think the Packers are a team that's going to struggle offensively, have a good defense, but the defense is going to have to be on the field a lot, and they still have some older players on that defense too. So I think that they're going to be kind of a struggling team to outscore other teams, and that's going to result in I'd say a 6-win season. Right now I'm feeling about 6-11, maybe 5-12, 7-10, somewhere in that range. But yeah, Packers at 4. Jude, I'm gonna let you go ahead and explain the Bears at 4 for you.
Okay. The thing is Nick's gonna make me sound like a Bears hater, because obviously you know what team he's rocking. But like, I don't hate the Bears. Like, I think they're moving in the right direction. I'm not sold on their coach yet. Their defenses were like when he was in Indy, their defenses were terrible, and then he took them to competent. His schemes are pretty vanilla, and his defenses can be really good, but you kind of need like he's the type of runs the type of defense all about like hustle and energy, and you kind of need like superstar players. But the Bears obviously just, I mean, they have an, I'll give you, they have 2 nice safeties, all right, but their pass rush might be the worst in the NFL.
Whoa.
They lost Roquan Smith, who was an All-Pro last year. So that's gonna hurt. They brought in Tremaine Edmonds, which is, I mean, I guess they claim is better for their scheme. They overpaid, obviously. I mean, they had to. And I think if they win 6 games this year, I think that's the successful season because last year they won 3. It's not like the Bears were like competitive like 6-11 team last year. I mean, if they go from 3 to 6, that's a successful season. But this hype with Justin Fields is getting from the media, I don't really understand it. He's proven nothing in the NFL. He, I mean, he's obviously. I mean, you could say he's the best running quarterback in the NFL, but he's shown nothing throwing the ball. DJ Moore will definitely help him. It'll automatically improve him as a passer. DJ Moore, I don't know if he's on the level of receivers that can transcend an offense like a Stephon Diggs did in Buffalo, but he's definitely in that next tier. So the offense will definitely be better, but I just think the defense is going to get absolutely shredded, and the offense it's going to be a good offense, not great. Um,
So
and I see about six wins for the
so
Bears, and I
basically.
think 6 wins. I think they should be happy with. I don't think they should be mad about 6 wins.
So basically, what I'm catching on to is you see it as a defense that's just going to continue to get shredded, and the offense you like, but you think that the quarterback's passing limitations holds it back, and you also aren't a huge fan of the coaching. Is that what I'm gathering?
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, I mean, okay, you can go.
we're gonna talk about the defense whenever I get to the Bears on mine, but the only note I'm gonna really put out right now is if if the Bears win 6 games and they're last in the division with Justin Fields and this coaching staff, which again hasn't proven a whole ton, but if they're still fourth place in Fields' third season and they're in a fairly weak division, like it isn't over the top loaded. They're
Mm-mm.
also in a fairly weak quarterback division. They have some good quarterbacks
Yep.
in this division, but it isn't like
Not
overloaded like
top
some other
tier.
divisions.
Yep.
So if with Fields and this team finishing last in this division, changes have to be made after the year. I'm just going to say that. If that happens, changes have to be made at coaching and potentially quarterback if that's the scenario. But again, I don't think any of this is going to happen. So we'll see though. But Bears at 4 for you, Packers at 4 for me. We can move on to 3 where
Why?
we actually.
Wait. Well, hold on. Why?
What?
Why would they have to be? Why would changes have to be made if they double their wins? They
Because
they
because
why are the
six.
expectations so high for the Bears? They had the number one pick. Well, obviously they traded it, but they were the worst team in the NFL. What makes
Okay,
you think they're going to
let's
jump
a
from
few
three
things.
to 10? What have they done? Seven. DJ
Listen,
Moore's were
listen.
7 wins. Okay, let's just go on the next. We'll talk about the Bears
Okay,
later.
we'll talk about the Bears more.
You can talk about the Vikings. You can
I'm
talk
gonna
about
add
the
one more
Vikings.
thing, one quick thing. So Jaguars went from the worst team to winning a playoff game, okay? A lot of it, the development of the quarterback and the good coaching staff. So if this coaching staff can only get this team 6 wins and the quarterback can't get them more than that in a weak division,
Wait, Trevor Lawrence, like his coach, you got to understand.
yeah,
His
his coach
coach
is way
may
better
have
than
been
Eberflus. Yes.
no, I'm saying his coach before was probably the worst NFL, like on the tier of worst NFL coaches to ever, be a head coach.
Okay.
I mean, Eberflus is fine. He's not like, I don't think he's anything. I mean, he hasn't proven anything. He's definitely not on Urban Meyer's level. He's definitely above that. So Trevor
Okay.
Lawrence went from a bottom feeder coach to a Super Bowl. His coach has won a Super Bowl. So let's just move
Yeah,
on, man.
but my whole point was like weak division, weak quarterback division. You can't finish last and expect to run it back the year after with the talent that they added. But anyway, on to number 3, the Vikings. Yeah, so the Vikings, they're a weird team. I'm really close between 3 and 2. I'm kind of set on my 1 right now in the division. We'll see who that is later. But 2 and 3,
Yeah, y'all can guess what team has won.
2 and
Good lord.
3, 2 and 3. I'm very tight on. I actually think 3 has a better offense than 2 and potentially the best offense in the division still with the Vikings. It's just the defense that really is tough
Mm-hmm.
to hold this team back. But talking about the offense, Kirk Cousins, as of now, he's the best quarterback in the division. He was a top 10 quarterback, no debate in football last year. Was Captain Clutch. It's just, can he repeat that again? All those clutch drives, whatever they were, 12-0 in one-score games until the playoffs, like that's hard to repeat. But outside of that, like the receiving core, Jefferson is the best receiver in football. Hawkinson is a top 5 tight end. KJ Osborne has proven he can be a really good number 3 receiver. It's just about can the rookie Jordan Addison step in and be a good number 2. And then you're looking at an absolute elite receiving core. So that's good. The O-line, I feel like, is underrated. Christian Darrisaw played like a top 5 left tackle in football last year, and that was only his second year. Brian O'Neill's always been a pretty solid right tackle. And then the interior, Ezra Cleveland had a good year at guard last year. Garrett Bradbury at center hasn't been lived up to his first-round potential, but he had his best season last year. And then Ed Ingram is a second-year player out of LSU at right guard that was actually solid his rookie year, and I liked as a prospect. So I think this O-line is pretty complete and has a star on it at left tackle. So I think the O-line's good, receiving core is good. Big question, like I said, can Jordan Addison be a good number 2 receiver, which he should be, which they drafted him to be in the first round, and the run game. Losing Dalvin Cook, I've noticed some Vikings fans really like Alexander Mattison. I just don't think he's shown much even in the time he's been in the game. Like last year, he ran for, I believe, like 3-point-something yards per carry in his attempts. I just don't really see a lot out of Alexander Mattison. So I think the running game could hold them back, but I just think the passing firepower is going to be still there. Now, concerns and why they're third, the defense. It was already bad last year. The only positive I can say is they brought in Brian Flores to be the defensive coordinator, which should help, but he needs talent. Like the pass rush, Danielle Hunter is good, but you lost Adalius Smith, you lost Dalvin Tomlinson. So now you're looking at, well, they did add Marcus Davenport, but he still hasn't been an amazing player. The interior is not too bad, although I think Dean Lowry is not really that good of a player anymore, and then Karis Tonga at nose tackle isn't much. He was a 7th-round pick for the Bears like 3 years ago. I think the D-line's going to struggle. They're really going to struggle to stop the run with that kind of weaker interior. And then the linebackers, they got rid of Eric Kendrick. So they're looking at Brian Asamoah and Jordan Hicks. Not a really good core. So I think this team's really going to struggle to stop the run. They'll provide decent pass rush with Hunter and Davenport. But then the secondary, Byron Murphy, your number 1 corner. Hopefully Andrew Booth can take a step for them. But then you have Evans at the other corner. And the safety room, Smith is always going to be solid. Cameron Bynum, though, just is not a really impressive starting free safety. I think Lewis Stein will probably take that spot by the end of the year. So the secondary, I think, is going to really struggle, and the run defense is really going to struggle, and that's not a recipe to play good defense. I'm looking at a bottom 5 defense in football, so I think that's going to hold them back from the other 2 teams who have really good offenses as well. So that's why I have them third. Again, lack of running game, defense, and just 1-score luck last year, hard to translate to this year, and they lost a lot of talent. But I'm still thinking an 8 to 9 win season and competing for that 7th seed in NFC. Sorry I took a while, but your turn.
You're good, man. Yeah, I mean, obviously we both have Minnesota at 3, so it's pretty similar. I mean, like you said, I wouldn't necessarily say it was luck, all the 1-score wins, but I think it was just they were just super fortunate. It's tough to have that happen 2 years in a row. They had that massive comeback against the Colts. They had in the crazy game against Buffalo.
Yeah, the Buffalo game was tough. How often is a team going to fumble in their own end zone in victory formation?
Yeah, I mean, and they got exposed. They got torn up by Daniel Jones, man. So that was just a tough way to end the season. I don't really know where the Vikings are going to go. I mean, it's Kirk Cousins last year, probably in Minnesota. I mean, I don't think you can pay him after the season.
If they finish how we're predicting, yeah, it's his last year.
Yeah. I mean, even if they win the division, say they win 11 games, what do you think? Lose first round? Let's just say lose first round again. I mean, you really think they're going to pay him? Why would you?
I think they have to make probably the championship game and at least the divisional round, but I think that's an unfair assessment because you're asking Kirk Cousins to take a bottom 5 defense to the championship game.
No. I'm not saying it's on Kirk Cousins. I'm just saying like he should. If he was smart, he should ask for every dollar because he's walking after the season. So why would he not ask for every dollar he can make? And he's getting older.
That's not who he is, but I think he wants to finish his career in Minnesota.
I mean,
I think he wants to finish.
You say that until there's an extra $20 million in another city. I mean, come on, a lot of quarterbacks say that. Okay, back to the other Vikings players. Their offense should be good. I think it'll probably be the second best offense in the division. And I mean, like you said, man, the defense, it's going to take time. I mean, Flores is a great pickup. obviously it sucks what happened to him. But I think it's just going to take time. It's just going to take development. I mean, 13-4, I don't really think that's that record. I mean, the classic saying in football is your record is who you are, but I really don't think.
They had a negative point differential. A lot
Yeah,
of that due
exactly.
to losing by like 40 to the Cowboys, but still.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, their secondary, it's bad. I mean, there's no getting around it. They're D-line, Daniil Hunter, but he can't carry the entire defensive line. Linebackers, I mean, it's not a good defense. I mean, let's just admit it. So yeah, I think about 8 wins for the Vikings. Because I think if Kirk is who you said he is, they should win the division. But I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. So
Okay, I want to clear
that's
something up. Like last year, yes, Cook last year, if Cook can go out and win all those one-score games again, because he was clutch last year, but throughout his career, he hasn't been that guy who he was last year. He's been like this top 12 to 15-ish quarterback who just had like everything clicked, and he had an amazing like top 8-ish year last year. If he goes back to that 12 to 15 range where he's not super clutch, they're gonna those close games with the bad defense, those are gonna turn into L's, and then they're gonna be looking at 8 to 9 wins, and he's probably out after this year. But if he can be like last year, yes, then they should probably win this division.
Yeah, you're expecting a slight regression from him.
Yeah, I'm just expecting a slight regression from a standpoint of the clutch factor and just everything clicked last year for him.
Yeah, and I mean the NFL, it's tough to say you say it's about a lot of teams, but first year in the system, second year, sometimes teams get figured out a little bit, and obviously defense is bad. So yeah, all right, we can move on.
All right, on to number 2. Lions for me, Packers for you. I talked about the Packers, so I'll let you
You can
talk
talk
about.
about the okay.
Talk
I'm going
about
to
the
talk about the
Packers
Packers.
first, since
Okay.
we'll both talk about the Lions after. So talk about the Packers. I have them. Just kind of recap. You already know I stayed the receiving core is weak. Love has a lot on his shoulders with that offense. So, well, not a lot with the system in the running game, but like a lot of elevating to do to take them over the top. But anyway, explain.
I think the Packers. I don't think they're not they're not in the playoffs for me. I'll just come out and say it. I think them and the Vikings will probably each have 8 wins, maybe 9, 9-8. I don't think. I think Jordan Love. I think if he came in the NFL and played right away, it would have been rough for him. I think him sitting it definitely helps behind Aaron Rodgers. It's definitely going to help. I mean, there's no getting around it. The running game's going to be good. I mean, the receiving core is not as bad as you. I mean, you think it's. I don't think it's as bad as you think it is. Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs are two good. I mean, there's good young receivers.
Is Romeo Doubs a top 60 receiver in football?
Who are you taking? Romeo Doubs or Randall Cobb?
Romeo Doubs.
Okay, then Randall Cobb was number 2.
Randall Cobb's a wide receiver 4 at best in his career right now.
What about last year? He wasn't.
That's why they went 8 and 9 and missed the playoffs with a Hall of Fame quarterback.
And what do I have them going this year?
About the same with a non-Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, but I think. I mean, okay, last year it was just a crazy year for the Packers. I mean, Rodgers was just pissed off the whole year. I don't think him and the coach. I think they kind of didn't really get along, and I think the Packers, they have something to prove. People are riding. I've been riding them off as like a really bad team, as you are. But they still have some nice players on their team. Obviously, Jair Alexander, Kenny Clark, Devondre Campbell, Quay Walker. I mean, and Rasul Douglas.
Rasul Douglas.
What?
We're just naming guys.
So name the Bears. Let's see. Who are the Bears guys better than that?
We'll get to the Bears.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
We're naming mid players.
And let me just say this.
Okay, I am gonna. I
should have said this. I should have said this at the beginning when I started. But this division is not good. It's competitive, yeah, but it's not good. Like, I don't think the Packers are like I said, they're an 8-win team, or maybe 9, but they're 2. And the Lions, who I obviously have first, are probably 10-win team. All the quarterbacks. I mean, there's no star quarterbacks in this division. Okay, back to the Packers. Their line, as long as Bakhtiari is healthy, the line is going to be a lot better than what it was last year. And they have what they have going for them is they have the best coach in the division. Who's won? I think it's like he has the best winning percentage for a coach ever, like percentage wise. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's like
he did through 3 years, definitely. I don't know if last year took him below
yeah.
like John Madden or
I think
something, but I don't know.
yeah, maybe. But yeah, I think as long as Jordan Love I think he can be fine in this system. He doesn't need to be great. I mean, what they need is a game manager. They don't need a superstar quarterback in this system, and he can be that with a little playmaking.
But they don't
So yeah,
have
I
the
think
offensive weapons though outside of the backfield.
okay. So they have a good running game.
Yeah, but you need to be able to throw the football. Well, obviously, I'm not saying they're not
And
going
their
to be able to throw
offensive
the
line's
football, but
good.
like, okay, yeah, I want to make one more note on the offensive line. I wrongfully said that they're just an aging O line. That's false. Bakhtiari is the only old guy. Elton Jenkins is still a
Yeah,
fairly young
their line is
player.
their line is good.
I like Zach Tom at right tackle. He's just the ideal player now, and then the other two guys are both young guys. So I just don't think they're like that good of a line. I think Bakhtiari's good. Elton Jenkins is good. I like Zach Tom a little bit, but he's still kind of unproven for a full season. And then
Also,
you
okay, I'll say this. Let me cut you off. My bad. Let me cut you off.
no, you're
They're
good.
the best. They're the best defense in the division.
Yeah, they're the no doubt best defense for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, that helps. And like I said, well, I guess they're not. Their offense. It's not a bad offense. It's probably third or fourth.
It's
But
definitely
it'll be
fourth in the
mediocre. No,
division.
okay, we're gonna stop. You're having way too much confidence in the team that you have on your chest and on your head. All right, let's just move on to number
And
one,
in the
man.
background.
Yeah, and the freaking background, man. Like, let's look at the number one.
Okay. Number one. Hold up. Oh, Bears. Okay. On to number one. Well, no, I didn't even talk about my number two. Okay. We'll make
Yeah.
this a Bears and Lions combined segment. Okay.
Okay.
Starting off with the Lions, it's hard to really explain why they're two without talking about the Bears. So I'm just gonna do kind of comparison. Here we go. Offense, quarterback. I'm a believer in Fields. I think he's going to be a top 10 quarterback this year. That's kind of what it all comes down to, really. So Fields over Goff. Looking at the running game, I love both backfields. Obviously, it has to go to the Lions, though, with the Jameel Gibbs and Dave Montgomery combination. But I do like Hobart and Foreman a lot, too. On to the receiving threats. The Lions are mediocre at this position, in my opinion. I had them at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 10, and I had the Bears an 8 out of 10. DJ Moore is a better receiver than St. Brown, in my opinion. You can debate either way, but I think the Bears have the clear better outside receiver. And then Kmet is a better tight end than the rookie Sam Laporta. And then you're looking at the other guys, the 2 and 3s. They have like Marvin Jones, Jameson Williams, suspended for 6 games or so. So I think Mooney and Claypool, you have to give that to them. I think it's clearly a better receiving core in Chicago, and it's one of the better ones in all football. So combining that, O-line, definitely the Lions. Although the Bears O-line, I have ranked at 14, and it played to that standard last year, and they only improved on who they added. The O-line actually wasn't bad last year. It was some other problems, the receiving core mainly. But, yeah. So the Bears, I think, offensively are going to be better than the Lions. I think the dynamic ability, the running quarterback, I think Fields has shown he can throw the deep ball well, and I think he's just got to clean up some things that he actually did improve last year from a pocket standpoint and accuracy. The decision making, he improved in every area last year. Now, just can he take another step, which I think he does. And I think the Bears have a clear top 10 offense in football. The Lions in that 10 to 15 range too. But I like the Bears offense more. The coaching, I love the Lions coaching staff. The Bears, the coaching staff is the concern. But I think Luke Getsy is going to put together a good enough system for Fields. It fit him pretty solid last year, and I think it's only going to take another step forward. Then you're looking at the defensive side of the ball. You can make a strong case the Bears have a better defense than the Lions. Like the Lions, we want to hype them up, but we can't admit that their defense was also bad like the Bears last year too. They just won more games. But looking at the defensive side of the ball, okay, both have pretty good pass rushers. I think Hutchinson's a star. Nkwake,
Mm-hmm.
fairly good pass rusher,
The
not a good
Lions,
pass defender.
the Lions have a better pass rush.
Okay, let me finish. Andrew Billings, who the Bears added at free agency, I'm going to go through the Bears depth chart. I might just sound like a homer, but he's legitimately a really good run defending interior player. Justin Jones, not a fan of. DeMarcus Walker had a career year for the Titans, and they also have Rasheem Green. But we're going to name the Lions depth chart on the defensive line. Ali McNeil hasn't done much for where he was picked for. Isaiah Buggs, Charles Harris. Then you have Romeo Okwara, who can maybe play some good ball like he has in the past, but he struggled with injuries. The Bears D-line is really probably the same level as the Lions. Maybe a tad bit worse because they don't have the Hutchinson, but like Billings is better than any other player on that defensive line for the Lions, and probably DeMarcus Walker too. So like, really, the linebackers Jack Campbell, Anzalone. Campbell should be good as a rookie, but like T.J. Edwards was the captain of a Super Bowl defense. Tremaine Edmonds always has had the talent to be an elite linebacker, and he finally was an elite linebacker last year. Even after that, Sanborn had a pretty good rookie year. Noah Sewell out of Oregon could potentially take his spot if he doesn't perform. So, like, they have legitimately one of the better linebacker cores, not named the 49ers, in the NFL. On to the secondary. This is where I get a little bit of struggles at corner, specifically. Jalen Johnson, I'm just going to say it hasn't lived up to the corner we expect him to be. Kyler Gordon, I wasn't too high on him out of the draft. I thought we overdrafted him, but he was solid as a rookie. Tyreek Stevenson, I think, could play some good ball out of Miami as a rookie, but this is one of the probably 10 most cornerback cores in all of football. So I'm going to say that. That's the weakness of the defense and the team, really. Safety, though, Eddie Jackson, under Eberflus, played well last year, looking back to his old self. So good free safety. Briscoe, good strong safety. Very good safety duo. Very good linebacker core. I like the pass rush addition of Nkwake. I think that really takes the defensive line from out of the worst conversation in football to like, okay, it's still not great, but I don't think it's horrible. So I think the defense under Eberflus, well-coached defense, will play probably average to below average, but I don't think it's going to be a mess. And I think you pair that with, in my opinion, a top 10 offense. I believe I have them ranked at 8 going into the season. I think this team's going to come win this division at 10 games. Easy schedule. The go-either-way games with them and the Lions. Lions have to play the Seahawks out of the NFC West due to finishing second last year. Bears play the last-place Cardinals. Bears play the Commanders. Lions play the Cowboys out of the NFC East.
I'll take the Commanders against the Bears.
Maybe the Commanders can beat the Bears. Who knows? I take the Bears in that game. Then, like the NFC North, the Bears play not NFC North, AFC North. Bears play the Browns. Lions play the Ravens. Okay, both good teams.
I'll take the Browns.
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns in that game too. But other than that, Bears,
I get your point.
They have an easier schedule. I think they have a better
Yep.
offense with the dynamic of the run game and the running quarterback. Goff had a career
Can I talk now?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you're good. All right. Yes, Jared Goff did have a career year, but how is what did the Bears? Okay, is DJ Moore going to make their offense go from 19 points a game to the Lions last season had averaged 26 and a half?
So is the 19 points a game?
19. I'm staring at it. 19.2. Okay. And they were 5th to last in yards per game. So is DJ Moore going to make that offense go from 5th to last? Let me just name some of the teams that were ahead of them who have really dynamic offenses. Ooh, Matt Ryan with the Colts. Oh, they had a better offense. Oh, Zach Wilson. Man, he was higher.
The Colts did not have okay. 4 yards more a game, but less points per game.
Okay. Oh, Carolina with Sam Darnold. Oh, yeah, they average more. You want to talk about points? Yeah, there you go. There's the points. There you go. The Falcons with Marcus Mariota, who honestly should have been cut after his preseason performance. The Bears, I don't understand how the Lions were like a top 7 offense last year. And their offensive coordinator might be a head coach next season. He was threatened. He was getting in.
I love the coaching staff.
Okay, yeah, but what is the Bears? You talking about who is their offensive coordinator? The
Um,
Bears?
Luke Getsy, he was the Packers QB coach for 2
Okay,
years with Rodgers
okay,
MVP.
okay. The Lions. Let me switch to the Lions. Their defense. You say it's bad. How bad do you think the Lions defense is realistically going to be?
I
I
think
don't
both.
remember what you said.
I think the Lions defense will probably be bottom 10. The Bears bottom 10 to 12, just a tad bit better than the Lions.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, Dan Campbell's a defensive guy, right?
No, he was a tight end coach.
He's tight end coach. Okay, the
He's
Lions.
just
I'm looking
he's
at it
just a
right
football
now.
junkie guy.
The Lions week one to week 8. All right, their defense stunk. They averaged 32 points per game given up, and they didn't take the ball away. -5 turnover differential. Then from week 9 to 18, that's not a small sample size. That's half a season. It was much better. 20 points per game allowed, and their turnover differential was +12. And also, Justin Fields. Hold on. Let me go back.
You
Let me
might want
scroll
to see
down.
who they played from week 1 to week 8, and
Let
then
me
look at the
let me.
rest of the season.
Oh, so we're gonna talk about that. But then whenever I talk about Kenny Pickett. All right. Well, that's for conversation. That's a different conversation. Justin Fields was the third most. No, fourth most sacked quarterback in the NFL last year. Jared Goff doesn't get sacked. He was sacked the second to least. Like Justin Fields, your prediction is so much based off Justin Fields, like
Okay, I want to
taking a huge leap that
argue with you real quick.
he's not proven anything. He hasn't proven. He's shown like 4 games is what you're taking it off of, like
Okay,
a stretch and like the
I'm
middle of
about
the
to go off that
season
stretch again. Like
against like the Falcons.
no,
Like I remember
New
and like
England 33 points, Dallas 29 points, Miami 32, Detroit 30, Atlanta 24. Then once we lost to Green Bay that game, week 13, after that we went into full tank mode. Fields didn't even play the last game of the year. We only scored 13. We scored 10,
all right.
13, 20.
I'll make a personal bet with you. If the Bears win the division, I owe you dinner.
Okay, deal.
And if they,
If they
what's the
finish
deal for
last,
me?
I owe you something.
But if it goes in the middle, then it's push.
Yeah, if it
They're
goes in the middle, it's neither.
okay.
Bears
Bet.
finish
All
first,
right.
I owe you something. Well, no, Bears finish first, you owe me something. They finish last, I owe you something. We'll
Yep.
talk about this off stream more, but yeah, we can make that deal.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
But and middle doesn't matter. But
yeah. Okay.
anyway,
Well, it's set.
so we're looking at just last year, but you want to say who did they add? Okay, DJ Moore, a wide receiver 1 can transform an offense. Like we've seen it happen.
He's not on the level of those receivers though, man.
Yeah, but he's literally a tail behind.
He's in the second. I literally mentioned DJ Moore. I have them doubling their wins. You act like I have them regressing. If they go from 3 to 6 or 7, it's ludicrous to think that they should just like make wholesale changes. They were the worst team in the NFL last year.
But were they really a 3-win team until they started tanking at the end of the year and they lost a ton of close games?
Here we go. Oh man.
Like
You want to have
they lost a ton of close games during that stretch where Fields was playing really well.
the Texans were better than them last year, and they were god-awful.
The Texans won a game off a Hail Mary at the end of the year to not get the first pick.
The Bears didn't.
Okay, but anyway, back to the additions.
Win's a win.
On offense, DJ Moore, very good receiver, number 1 receiver. Nate Davis, one of the better Titans linemen over the last 5 years, good interior guy. Robert Tonyan, that's a depth tight end piece who can contribute. Dante Foreman, a really good running back too, who was a strong running back 1 last year for Carolina. First round tackle, Darnell Wright.
He wasn't really good. Don't try to make that out to be more.
But anyway, those are adding offensive pieces that are going to.
Those are pieces. So you think they're okay? Want to make another bet? Better offense, Lions or Bears?
I have the Bears right now.
We don't have to owe anything. This is just a bet.
Okay, I have the Bears right now as a little bit better offense than the Lions and a little bit better defense. I only like the Lions coaching more. We can go kicker. I like the Bears more too with Santos. So like, it's really a go either way. But I lean the Bears in the important stuff: receiver, quarterback. Like,
why is Fields so high? Like, if you didn't have the jersey behind you and on your chest, I promise you wouldn't have Fields this high, man. Like
I
you
was a
like you
Jalen
say
Hurts
Goff,
believer. People didn't believe in him.
you
It
said you were
happens.
who?
I was a Hurts guy too, so like it doesn't matter if it's
Hey,
my team or not.
I was too, man. But
Okay, then we're both Hurts
like
guys.
let like
It doesn't matter if it's
Jared,
my team
like
or
why
not.
don't if Justin Fields threw for 30 touchdowns last season like Jared Goff did, you would probably have Justin Fields as on pace to be the greatest quarterback of all time, according to your projections. All right, give him some time. Your expectations
Yes,
for
I'm
him are just
predicting. I'm not ranking
insane.
last year's. I'm not ranking last year's offensive rankings or last year's standings. We're predicting. You added talent. The Jaguars. Okay, people want to say, oh, they added Cook. Oh, whatever. They added Zay Jones. Oh, they just added a few pieces. Foyas, Aluakon, the defensive. Few pieces. They added a lot of pieces and they contributed and took a big jump. The Bears added a lot of pieces. The Dolphins years back with Brian Flores when they was terrible, they added a ton of pieces that
The
offseason
Jags, I just told you,
and
the
took a big
Jags
jump.
went from the worst coach ever, like possibly in the NFL, to a Super Bowl winning coach. The Bears, they're not changing. Coaching is such a big deal, and you're just kind of throwing that out.
I'm not throwing it
The,
out. I think Eberflus is a very good defensive coach. I like Luke Getsy as the
he's
OC. Not
fine.
amazing, but I think he's fine. I think we're well coached on both sides of the ball. I'm just worried about the situational coaching with Eberflus. That's my biggest concern. But I predict us to win 10 games with a weak schedule and the most improved team up there with the Texans in football. So I don't think that's that bold. Personally.
It's pretty bold, man.
One
You
more
have them
thing before we
tripling the
end.
wins.
One more thing before we end the podcast. I know I named the offense additions. Now we go to defense. TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, DeMarcus Walker, Andrew Billings. I've already mentioned these guys. Rasheem Green, Nagwake, big addition, and there's one more, Tyreek Stevenson at corner. So like we have some big additions on the
I've
defensive
considered
side of the ball.
myself a pretty big football guy, and I only know like 3 of those guys. I know you definitely know more about them than me because obviously they're on your team now, so you probably know them more than they know themselves. But like, no, I mean, like a few of those guys are good, but like you also who departures. You didn't name that. You lost an All
Departures.
Pro,
Who?
Roquan Smith.
No, he was traded mid-season last year. You're forgetting that.
Yeah, but oh my
He was
God, let's
traded.
just
Okay, but literally, our loss is Muhammad, the edge rusher, who's been a practice squad, barely make roster guy. Not to hate on him, but that's just what he's been in his career. Riley Reef, we upgraded right tackle. Montgomery, but we're fine. We added Foreman, and we have Herbert, who's better than Montgomery. Nicholas Morrow at linebacker, we upgraded there, and then Armani Watts at D-line. We upgraded there with
I'm
Billings.
sick of talking about a 6-win team, man.
Okay, one more
Man,
thing.
this is tough.
Billings, he was the 19th graded run defense player on PFF in the interior, so he can defend the run. Like, okay, we added a run defender. There we go. But anyway, that's enough.
Damn, we're going on 40 minutes here, man. Talking about this stupid Bears.
Good debate. We'll see how it ages, but yeah, we're gonna lock these final predictions in next week. We're not gonna debate. That was what he was for. We're just gonna say our predictions, maybe a tiny bit of commentary, but we're doing all at one time. So anyway, that's the podcast. Comment your opinion. Why the Bears are gonna win the division? Why the Bears are gonna suck? Why I'm biased? Why I'm a homer? But anyway,
Yep.
now we're gonna get on to the NFC South pod before we end the night. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in.